So you just bought yourself a brand new MacBook Pro and you want to make sure that your device is protected, right? Well, check out this case by Mous, and spoiler alert, you probably can't buy a more protective and better looking sleeve than this one. Now, full disclosure, this video is not sponsored by Mous in any way, but I have been a fan of their products for a while and have been impressed by their phone cases over the years. Made sense to check out their offering for the M1 and M2 MacBook Pro. Timestamps are on screen now, so feel free to skip ahead to the relevant part. Cool, let's just jump straight in. As soon as you take this thing out of the box, you can tell it's going to be a good product. It features a sleek design which actually doesn't add too much bulkiness to your MacBook Pro. Starting from the outside in, we have a slightly textured water-resistant shell which is well stitched throughout, an important detail for ensuring that water actually stays out of your case. The zip is also enclosed in that waterproof material, which is quite reassuring to see. Turning this over, we have a pocket on the outside that has a much softer inside lining. Also has a hidden magnet which helps keep that opening shut when the pocket is not in use. It doesn't actually open up that wide, but you may be able to squeeze in a few things like cables or a notepad or maybe even an iPad in here. Lastly, we have a handle which tucks into the side of the case. Before we open this thing up, there are some things I do not like on the outside of this sleeve. Number one is that handle. I'm not usually a fan of handles on laptop sleeves, and I only purchased this model as it was the only sleeve by Mous for the new MacBook Pro. For an $100 sleeve, it just feels kind of cheap. It doesn't sit flush against the side and sometimes gets stuck when the material gets caught in the opening here. I suppose it feels sturdy and does the job, but compared to the rest of the case, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as high quality. Another thing that feels and kind of looks a little cheap is the shell covering the sleeve. It's not completely tight against the case, which, to be fair, probably takes a little less pressure off the stitching, but it just doesn't look great and it visibly bobbles up a bit. It's not that bad, but I feel like it just cheapens the overall aesthetic. Overall, from the outside, this thing feels protective and looks great, but the inside is what really differentiates this sleeve from the rest. Okay, so we have a nice zip which wraps around about 60% of the case, which makes it nice and easy to get your laptop in and out. Similar to the pocket on the outside, it features a soft inner lining on the inside, which helps prevent your MacBook from getting scratched and scuffed when it does sit inside that case. But the real selling point of this case is the blue border on the outside here. This is the Mous trademarked AiroFoam technology. Details on how this protects your device can be found on their website, but basically they found a clever way of utilizing the relationship between hydrogen bonds to react and absorb the energy from high impact drop. Now, I can't vouch for why the science behind this thing really works, but I have owned a Mous phone case for a few years. It's definitely survived a few falls and the technology seems to hold up well. You may be familiar with Mous's marketing videos where they basically show up at the Apple store, put a brand new iPhone in a Mous case, throw it up as high as they can, and reveal a perfectly working phone following that drop. If this doesn't convince you of just how protective their technology is, you can check out tons of test videos on YouTube, including one by Mr. Who's the Boss, who literally throws a brand new phone out of a helicopter. Safe to say that this is probably one of the most protective cases you can buy for your MacBook. And because this thing is specifically made for the MacBook Pro, your laptop can fit perfectly snug inside, which further enhances that protection that this case can offer for you. Sounds like the perfect sleeve, but there is one thing on the inside that I do not like, and that is this label. Even though it looks kind of nice and I do like their drop everywhere slogan, the stitching on the outside and the edges are kind of rough, almost sharp. If you put your MacBook into the sleeve with the top panel up against this label, I'd be a little worried about it scratching your $3,000 device. I like to make sure I put my laptop in with the base panel up against the label. That way the elevation provided by the rubber feet on the base prevent the label rubbing directly onto my MacBook too much. Now look, spending $100 on a case seems a little over the top, but considering just how expensive these MacBooks are, I think it's worth investing a little cash into a decent sleeve that you know is going to offer top quality protection. The case isn't perfect, and I wish that Mous would create a sleeve without this handle, but I'm definitely happy, and I will be using this as my main carry case for my M2 MacBook Pro. Cool, drop a subscribe if you found this useful, and I will catch you in the next one.